than somebody else.
We can get started with in-person questions.
In person.
Hey. Who's traveling tomorrow?
I don't know about. Actually, I don't know. I haven't asked about Christy, but as far as I know, everybody else is going.
Okay.
Yeah, and I won't know game status probably till after practice tomorrow. I mean, when we put out our report, but definitely progress on all fronts.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I was gonna say, looked like we saw Ariel out there more than we had in the past. I'm assuming that's us.
Ariel and Elena were back in full practice today.
Okay, full practice,
Yep.
no limitations.
Other than, just what we limited the whole group, but yeah.
Yeah. Gotcha. Obviously, have the experience and just
it's definitely, you can feel the positive momentum, but that goes as far as we do the things we're supposed to on the court. You know what I mean? Getting those guys back in is going to require a little work from all parties. But also just, we had a little time yesterday. We just watched film as a group of correcting things we can control during the course of a game. And I think, we won a game. We're getting some people back. We know we haven't won on the road in a while. And so we have to go, full focus, full steam ahead. It's not going to take care of itself just because we're getting people back.
And that's what, and you mentioned the road, and I was going to ask about that. Have you pinpointed anything that's been different on the road than at home?
You want me to name them by names? Oh, no, sorry. No.
Or is it really kind of a personnel situation?
I mean, it's partly personnel. And it's also, sometimes when you're shorthanded, you get a nice lift at home from the crowd and the energy in the building, and the runs you're on feel longer and the ones against you don't feel as bad. But we've played good teams. The other thing is we play good teams on the road, and there's probably a couple games we look at and go, we could or should have had that one. And then that team that beats us wins like 4 in a row. We go into Phoenix and you kind of think, all right, they've been struggling, and then they roll off 4 in a week. You could have said the same for Atlanta when we lost there. So we've lost a couple close ones. We've been shorthanded, but excuse season is over. We got 10 games left and it's time to go.
And real quick on Ariel, how important and how, just for the future of this organization, how big it is getting that done?
Oh, I'm excited.
I assume so.
Yeah. I mean, Ariel's everything we want to be about. She's I've spoken about her at length before, but she's a winner. She says what she does what she says. She's a pro's pro. She's the type of person you want to, build an organization around in terms of your culture, how you want to act. And, I kind of told her yesterday, she didn't have a choice when we drafted her, but she has a choice now. Every team would have taken her in free agency, and she chose to be here. And that's, really satisfying, but we need to do right by her and build the team that she wants to be a part of.
I think that's it.
With everyone kind of coming back to the roster, what will be the biggest adjustment that you have to make in that regard on both sides of the ball?
Minutes? No. Minutes. I would say, we were before, I guess, trying to remember the order. Was Shakira kind of the first domino to fall in terms of the injuries? I think so. I thought we were starting to put some things together on both ends right at that point, but we had to work at it for a while offensively. It wasn't smooth to start the year. And I don't think we're just going to all of a sudden drop everybody in place and have it, just be totally smooth and the chemistry all be right there. So we got to actively work on both ends to build our chemistry back up. I think, defensively, as you saw the other night, putting Kira back out there. And then when we add Ariel and we add, Elena's length into the mix, right away, there's going to be an improvement, but it's all the connections of decision-making and, how you're guarding pick and rolls and what your help side looks like. You're going to have to actively build that chemistry. Offensively, it's a matter of timing, spacing, what do we carry over from the last month or so that's been working versus stuff that we know fits Elena and Kira and Ariel. It should be good problems, but you still got to solve them. Mickey Mouse phone.
You know, during the season, you did lose, 4 key players, but mentally, how were you able to bounce back from that? And then now for this season, we're starting to get those dominoes back, mentally, how are you feeling?
I think with the injuries, I think it's important to keep in mind, and you kind of remind people around the team and media and fans and everything that, the people that are most frustrated are the ones that are hurt. They want to be out there helping the team. It does no good for me to have a ton of frustration. Obviously, it's frustrating. But, we have a responsibility to the healthy ones and the injured ones to, like, for me, bring my best every day, bring my energy, do what I can to problem solve for the group that's out there on the court. And I think for the most part, that group that's been playing has stuck together and, bounced back when we've had tough moments. Hasn't felt sorry for themselves. We've played through, and you kind of need the same mentality when you get people back of, like I said before, not all of our problems are going to be magically fixed. Like, we're going to have to actively work every day to get as good as we can be before the end of the season.
And then I'm speaking on her extension.
Yeah.
Just what was the biggest thing that she's shown this season, throughout season when you were an assistant and then now head coaching, and even her, what was the biggest thing that stood out?
I think Ariel is somebody who sees herself very clearly. She's got a good sense of self in terms of what she needs to work on, but also who she is and what she's good at. And I think that's a real sign of maturity. Her role and her growth on the court have happened over the years. I think she'll tell you, she exaggerates a little bit, but the first year or two, all she did was stand in the corner and shoot threes, which isn't quite exactly true. But she's expanded her game, moving more off the ball, off the screens, with the ball in her hands. She's grown up a lot defensively. And I think when you have, I think Greg Popovich, his line always sticks with us about people that have gotten over themselves. Like, she's gotten over herself. She just wants to be good. She wants to be a place where it's going to help her grow and build things the right way. You kind of, what you see is what you get with Ariel. And that's a really nice thing to have.
Quickie, I didn't specify Kira. How did she feel? It didn't look like she was going full. Well, I don't know if she went full before we came in, but how did she feel recovering after the game?
She came through the game pretty good. She did some stuff on the court yesterday, so I think she was feeling that a little bit today, but nobody seemed very alarmed after practice today. Like, she did some stuff on the side. She did some stuff with the team at the start of practice. So she seemed to come through it pretty good. I think there's just going to be, kind of like with all the injuries, some days where she feels good and some days she's feeling it a little bit. We've really ramped her up, and now you got to let her recover sometimes. Yep.
We'll go to Zoom now. Gabe.
Gabe must have a good question. He turned his camera on.
Hey, Coach, I don't like not being seen. So congrats on getting Ariel locked in. I know you're super pumped, as you said. I just wanted to know, going into this off season with a couple other players coming up after their contracts, what does this simplify for you guys in terms of the franchise view?
I probably don't have a great answer about what it simplifies, other than each player is their own case. We talk with, you can probably guess the ones that we have ongoing discussions with, but everybody's in a little bit different situation. And, that's a little bit Coach T's department. And when he wants to speak on it, he will. But it's really good to get Ariel signed. As everybody knows, it's been reported. It's not like I'm spilling a secret. We have a core to use if it comes to it. And I think every team, it's a little bit new reality in the league, is that you're going to have probably several free agents every year. I think that's where, how the cap is gone with the new CBA is, every year, if you're a contending team, you're going to have to get creative. So we've got a few really good players under contract long-term. We obviously are going to want to bring some more back, and then you'll fill around the edges.
And I had another question, but I forgot. So thanks, Coach.
Work to perfection.
I think that's it then, Coach.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate it. Tell us something.
Some money.
Yeah.
I got nieces and nephews on the way. Yeah. So they gonna be taking all our money for sure. Yeah.
So again, congrats.
Thank you.
We talked about all this yesterday.
Yeah.
but, what was it like to kind of come into the building today, having all that taken care of?
Yeah.
And knowing you got your spot here within the
Yeah.
organization here for the future.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely feels good as a pro athlete. It feels good to be secure. Point blank period. And to have a protected contract was important to me too. But I mean, I don't know how to say it, but it just feels good. DC has become another home to me. And to be able to stay here and continue my career here to where I was drafted it's kind of unheard of in sports today. So it feels good.
Do you go into recruiting mode now?
I think about it. I'm really trying to finish out the season and make sure that we get our stuff together because we got some work to do. Yeah.
Physically, how are you feeling? It sounds like a full practice today. So, is today the first full
Yeah.
run you've had?
Yeah. Trying to get my lungs back. I mean, you probably saw that there. But really just a matter of taking care of my body and my mind. I think my mind more than anything, there's been a lot of things that I've been a little nervous to do, and not because it's not strong enough, just because it's situations where I actually, heard it and coming back and trying to, get over screens and different things like that. So just mentally trying to stay locked in and give myself, reassurance and, just kind of trust the process of it. Like, it's not easy coming back from an injury for the simple fact that it can be a little scary because, you don't want to get hurt again. But just locking into the fact that me and the ATs, we've done the work. My coaches have done the work. Like, we've put in the time and the work that we need to make sure that it's strong enough to go. So just thug it out.
It's like I'm looking at the paint and all these feet down there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's yeah. Mm-hmm.
One last thing I do want to ask about these road games.
Mhm.
From your perspective, has there been anything different on the floor that's looked or felt different from home in a way outside of, obviously you guys haven't had a whole lot of personnel on these
Mhm.
road trips. But have you seen anything outside of just like missing bodies that would?
I mean, that's a hard one to answer because we have been missing bodies. It feels like at all times at this point. It's been somebody being out. So for most of the big road trips, we haven't had the normal numbers. I mean, we've had people come in for 2 weeks or 48 hours and have to figure out how to play, how to guard a DT, how to, like it is, it's, I don't want to like blame it all on injuries in it, but it's not just the injuries. Like, people are having to learn how to play together in different groups, so yes, the injuries, but also no, it's just new, and to have to constantly teach and relearn. And then on top of that, you ain't got a ton of practices. And then on the road, you really just kind of got to like muster it up and put out there what's out there. But I think our team, regardless of kind of how it looks, being under 500, all that type of thing, I think they've done a good job at holding it together and doing the best that they can, especially the new people coming in, especially the players that are there, like not getting too down on themselves. Obviously there's hard moments, but not allowing them to just be like, oh, you know what, it's over. It's like, nah, like they've done a good job of making sure that we stay locked into each other, and make the push that we need to make. Yep.
What do you think the biggest adjustment would be with everyone coming back into form? And I guess speak to it on the offensive and defensive side.
Offensively, rhythm and timing. I mean, I don't know if you guys saw it a little bit today. It feels good to just pass, cut, and kind of know where your teammate's going to be. That first group, us playing together for a while now, kind of getting back to our timing and our rhythm. But just individually, like me knowing when my step is going to get back right to where it was or vice versa. And I think defense, the biggest thing is just going to be communicating and talking. I mean, it's something that sounds so trivial, but it's got to be the biggest thing. All five people talking at the same time, really.
Congratulations again.
Thank you.
From Texas, but you had a recent drop from your clothing line.
Mhm.
You had the ship DC, which two behind. So with this contract extension, it just feels really that's a line
Mhm.
that you dropped that. So can you talk a little bit about your decision in doing that as
Mhm.
your job?
Yeah. Yeah, that drop obviously was for my birthday, but I really wanted to make an ode to who I've become since I've been in DC, and the support that I've had. And I think the fans have really taken me in. I've met friends here that have become family to me. And so for me, it was really about kind of stepping into my 27th year and having an ode to the places and the things that have helped me grow. And DC is my chapter right now.
And then I was talking to Coach about, you know, what he's seen in you
Mhm.
From being an assistant to now being a coach. You know, he was talking about how there were some times when you had to stand in the corner and shoot threes, and
Yeah.
now you know you got your own way. So
Yeah.
even from your rookie season, what has been the difference?
I feel like every year I get closer to the top of the key. It's like as crazy as it sounds, but I mean, he's right. I mean, he's the one that was drawing it up, you know, standing in the corner, making sure that I could knock down the open three on the backside when they doubled the lane or tried to pop out to KT. And then you kind of give me a few years along the way. I mean, in the bubble, you got me and Maisha with the ball in our hands. You know, it's kind of just like, all right, y'all figure it out. This is what we got. And I mean, and Emma doing whatever she was doing. And then kind of to just now, like being more of a playmaker for my team. I think every year I've gotten better at it, but what I've enjoyed the most is that they challenge me every year to do something more. And it's exciting having responsibility. It's exciting having a full plate because that's the whole point of this, you know. You want to reach for progress, you want to reach for perfection. But you allow yourself to get better. And I want to leave this game knowing that I gave it everything I got and just keep putting it all out there. Yep.
We'll go to Gabe.
Hey Ariel, congrats on the extension. Great that
Thank
you're
you.
going to be here in DC. So this is the second time that you've foregone free agency. Yeah, I know you said security's really important to you. With your resume, you probably could feel secure in free agency as well. So why not explore the market and do the extension now?
I'm a pretty simple person when it comes to making decisions. I like to make the decision myself. Obviously, you want to take into account what other people have to say. But you write down a pros and cons list, and you try to figure out what's the best situation for you as an individual. And I feel like the best situation for me as an individual was staying in DC. This organization does a great job of allocating their resources to their players. And that's in a multitude of ways, regardless if it's on the court or in the community. And I'm also a big believer in my faith, and I don't believe what I'm supposed to do here is up yet. So I'm back.
And you know, I'm sure I kind of know the answer, but what is it that you want to accomplish here?
Win a championship and do more for the community here in DC.
All right, thanks, Ariel. Appreciate it.
I think that's it, A. Thank you.
More questions.